Hi, my name is Reverend Deborah Whitlock Lax, and I'm one of the associate ministers of St. Paul AME Church in Berkeley, California. Just in case you're not familiar with where we're located, we're at 2024 Ashby Avenue, very close to the BART station. Today we're talking about God's provision, and we have a wonderful guest, Carolyn Mims. She is the steward pro tem of the church, a missionary of 30 some odd years or something like that. We'll find out in just a little bit, as well as
choir, America.
You gotta get her to sing just a second. No, I'm just kidding. That's no pressure. Carolyn, how you doing?
I'm doing great today. Doing wonderful, wonderful.
I'm blessed to sit at your feet today.
Oh, thank you for just this time.
Well, the senior advocacy group is just a wonderful group, and
it is.
And we call it SAG here, but it's senior advocacy group, and it really is our veteran Christians of God's great kingdom, and we just thought we would do a series on just getting testimonies of people who've probably been asleep longer than you've been alive. And so, and that's not a dig there. That's wisdom sitting right next to me. And so I just wondered if you wouldn't mind sharing a story of when God, when you know that God has provided for you.
Well, thank you for this experience, and it is a blessing and a privilege to talk about God's goodness. So, again, having our careers, most of us, we look to our careers that we'll be there and we're going to be secure and perhaps to retire from that career. But I experienced a challenging time, and I call it challenging because it was an experience I think that the entire country went through. It was in 2008 when we called it our most recent depression. The mortgage and the banks were just having horrible times. People were just saying, what happened? I thought I was secure in my loan and mortgage and their life savings and all of these things. So 2008 brought a challenge. And for me personally, I was very excited in my career at that time.
And your career was in?
Hospitality. So I worked at a restaurant corporation that owned name brands of 3 or 4 different restaurants here in the Bay Area. And I was also very involved in the business community during that time. Because of that corporation, they wanted me to get more involved. I got involved with the Berkeley Chamber. I was the chairman of the board for two years. And so I really got very nestled and settled in my career. But there was other plans, and the corporation was going through some transition that I wasn't aware about. But when that time came, and it just so happened in that year, they came along and they were making some changes, and my job was at jeopardy. Well, it took me a bit by surprise. I thought, me? You get comfortable and things are going well. But God had the greater plan for me, and that's where I knew that we can get so caught up in our own routine, our own schedule, our own lifestyles, but God had a plan for me.
Was it right away that you discovered that, or did you have to kind of grow into that?
Well, no, it wasn't right away, but really when the circumstance came about that I was confronted that my job might be in jeopardy, I was just, I had to go to God. I said, oh, God, I know you have a plan here. I didn't know what it was at that time. But not only did he have a plan for me, for my career, he had a plan for my life past that. And so that year, it happened to be that year that I met a man who friends had introduced me to, and we became friends, and his background. He a graduate from college, and he wrote well. And I said, I've got to put something together because I've got to save my job. And he helped me, and just genuinely just said, oh gosh, we have to save your job here, so let's do something. And so anyway, I wrote about why I felt I needed this job and why I didn't feel that it was fair to let me go. But God's provision was that not only did I not lose my job, 3 managers that I was working for came to me and said, we have a plan for you. And I just knew that that was God's plan. I just knew it in my heart. Because I didn't see that happen to anyone else in this corporation. And so I thought, God, you have just looked much past this job, this career, because then my friend who helped me turned out to be my husband.
Wow.
And what a wonderful, wonderful relationship we had. And then this was God's plan. So here we are. I was able to retire from this corporation, then to marry this friend.
A lot different from being laid off.
A lot different, as I said, because God provided for me. As I said, it wasn't, all of them are blessings, but I just thought, you provided for me with this job initially. You carried me through it, and then here you allowed me to retire from it. So again, he provided.
It's pretty awesome.
It is, and it.
You got a promotion. You got a new husband.
New husband.
You had a future because you retired.
Absolutely,
just
absolutely.
in case you don't know the difference. One's a severance pay that will stop in 6 weeks or so, depending on how long you were there.
Yes.
And the other one, you get a pension and you get honored and you get, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yes. So he provides for us. I mean, more than we can even imagine. We think about, oh, God bless me today. I had a great day today. But it is our Heavenly Father who looks out for us beyond our thoughts. I'm just sometimes in awe of just how he blesses us abundantly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yes.
So, I just wonder and think about how many people are out there. They're saying that the job market is really good and blah, 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 blah. But, we also know that people are getting laid off all the time.
They are, yes.
They have mortgages.
Yes, yes.
Maybe you get laid off and you're the only one, the head of the household.
Yes.
And you just don't know who to turn to.
That's right.
And you might even be a Christian, and you're really just losing your mind, even though you love Christ.
That's right.
And I think that's important to say that the enemy tries to come to steal, kill, and destroy our joy. And so I'm just wondering, Sister Mims, if you would just give some last words to perhaps someone who might be facing that.
And in this career world, it's so challenging, and people, you might be blessed to get a job, but once you get there, you see the challenges on the job. And I tell people, God's blessed you with that, and we have to trust Him that He will carry us through it. Now, if it's not for you, He's going to show you. But I say to people, you really have to turn it over to Jesus.
Yes.
He will work it out. He will. He will work it out. We have to trust Him. We have to pray, and pray diligently, because God, He knows our heart. He knows our heart. He's the one that blessed us with these gifts that we have. So He knows where we should be and how we can bless other people. But you have to turn it over to Jesus.
And
you have to.
And let me stress something, because we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and close and come back for devotion. Did you notice that she didn't puff up and she didn't storm out and she didn't do things that would burn her bridge up, but that she went back on her balcony and she She reassessed the value that she brought to the table and argued that you're valuable. I want you to know
Absolutely.
that because Christ has made you valuable
That's right.
through his life and his death and his resurrection.
Yes.
Listen, stay tuned. We're going to cut for a commercial and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We've heard just an extremely great testimony about God's provision. I want to share the Word of God with you, and it's coming from 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 17 and 18. Let me read it. It's going to be on your screen just in case you don't have a Bible. It's in the New King James Version. Command those who are rich in this present age not to be haughty, nor to trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God, who gives us richly all things to enjoy. Underline that.
Yes.
He gives us all
Yes.
things to enjoy. Let them do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to give, willing to share. One thing that I know is if your hand is like this, nothing's going to leave it and nothing's going to come in it. We, the richest nation on the earth, need to learn how to give. Because God tells us in his provision for us that we are to give. Give, right? Because when we give, he gives back to us. Now, sometimes we take advantage of that, and it becomes kind of a prosperity gospel. Give, and it shall be given to you, pressed down, shaken together. Running over, shall God give to your bosom. But it's not for the intent that you get. It's so that you can give even more.
Amen.
And so I want you to know that sometimes our riches can cause us to be puffed up and haughty and look down to other people. So much so that in our world, especially in America, we get ours. Ours, what is this? What do they say? Four more, no more, or whatever. Our laws, whatever. We get ours, but we don't give to others who are less fortunate. Jesus himself said that we passed him by when he was hungry, that we didn't give him anything to wear when he was naked, that when he was in the prison, we didn't even go visit him. And we might say, well, wait a minute, whoa, when did we see Jesus? We saw Jesus in the image and likeness within humanity. You see, we are our brother's keeper.
Amen.
We are our sister's keeper. We are God's hands, arms, feet, body, voice to give to others, to provide. Today you heard a testimony of a person that Sister Mims just met, helped her write, gave of his intellect, mingled with hers, and God, through them both, landed a job, not just the same job, but a promotion. We've got to learn to help each other. And in our helping each other, we will see and witness God's provision in this earth. Sometimes we're looking for miracles when the miracle is us and our ability and our skills and talents that God has given us. So he tells us, let them do good, that they be rich in good works. Not that they be rich and our closets are overflowing with clothes that we can't even fit into.